Hi, why am I making videos? Well, stay tuned and I'll answer that question for you. I'll also give you a little introduction about me, who I am. I'll also give you some insight into what you can expect to see here. I hope you'll stay tuned. I'll see you in just a minute. First things first, my name is Sherry. I live in a town called Bristol, Tennessee. Bristol, Kingsport, and Johnson City is considered the Tri-Cities. So, I live here with my husband. We do have children, and they are all grown and have their own family. It's not without many hardships as well. I was first diagnosed when I was 24 in February of 1986 with scleroderma. I've also been diagnosed with some big ones: Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, rheumatoid arthritis, and multiple sclerosis. In the late 1980s, I had an episode where I actually couldn't walk. I did find out that it was multiple sclerosis. Before we could really get going with any disease-modifying medication that was available at that time, I began improving on my own. And very soon, I did get much better, and much of the symptoms went away, and I was soon able to walk. From that time on, with everything that I had going on, for the most part, MS was put on the back burner and not thought to be an issue at the moment. Well, we're not sure which came first. We don't know if my MS became active prior to the spinal cord injury, or if the spinal cord injury actually triggered it to become active. And the latter is what especially the neurosurgeons and the neurologists believe to be the case. I do have lesions on my brain as well as on my spine, more so on my spine. Some of the symptoms that I was having followed a colon surgery, and in doing so, they used clamps, surgical clamps, to hold it in position so it would work properly. Those clamps held it in place, tacked it up, so to speak. Over time, those evidently broke. And I began having severe back pain and a lot of trouble. And very soon, I went from walking in pain to not being able to. I could walk somewhat. Crutches, the forearm crutches that go on your arm. But within a matter of days, every day, that just became more and more difficult. Until within a couple days, I couldn't do that. The pain got worse, and the doctors knew there was more to this. There was something else involved. They ran the scans and confirmed that. But what I was experiencing was not what they typically saw in MS. So they looked a little closer. And to make a long story short, which I will go into more about this in another video at some point, but they found that I had a spinal cord injury. What had happened, the clamp had broken, and it had actually partially severed my spine, unfortunately. It had went into my spine and had severed it at that point, about 90%. The 10% that is not severed, unfortunately, is so mangled that this has left me, because of my hands and my wrist problems, this has left me in what they consider quadriplegic. I do have what they call quadriplegia instead of paraplegia, because my arms, my underarms, and my hands and my wrists are involved. I have very little function in my fingers and very little in my wrist. The chest about right here down, about right here, down. I do not have any feeling. The only feeling I ever get is pain, nerve pain, spasms, and things of that nature. I am considered a C6/C7, and it is fused down to the T4 area. They consider me functionally complete, even though I am not completely severed. Functionally, I function as if I am. So they call me a functional complete. If you would like to read my full story, I will share the link in the description box below, and you can go and read in a little more detail of my spinal cord injury and my condition as I live today. So, why do I want to do these videos? There's several reasons. One is raise awareness. I want people to understand what it's like to have a spinal cord injury, to suffer with multiple sclerosis, and to function in a wheelchair. I also want people to know that they're not alone. So many people don't have support systems, but so many people suffer in silence and suffer alone. And I want those people to know that there are others out here who can relate to what they are going through, who care, and who are willing to listen to them and to be there for them. There's a huge community of people out here that truly care and truly want to be there for one another. I want to share many tips and hints, so many things that I've learned from so many people, and I'd like to pass that on. Accessibility is an important thing to me. I took it for granted for so many years because I didn't need it. And I'm so sad that I did that, because now as a wheelchair user, I understand. There are such a difference between handicap accessible and wheelchair accessible. But it needs to go above and beyond so many things that we see today to provide access to those of us who must use a wheelchair and do not have the option of standing, turning around. So that's a big thing to me, and I will get into that a lot. My intent is not to bash businesses or to go around and talk down about businesses and venues and locations. My goal is to inform other people that use a wheelchair where the best accessible areas are to go to. That makes it easier for them to get out and enjoy life. However, I do hope that many places that do lack accessibility will take note and make the necessary changes and make things better. That if we make this world accessible to wheelchair users, we make it accessible to everyone. And I'll explain more about that at some point. It's a learning process, and you're not successful every day. I have many days that I'm totally down. I have my days. Ask my husband. He'll answer that. I also want to create an area in my videos where I do shout out. Throughout this experience, I have ran across several people that have touched me in such a wonderful way. I've got 4 people I'd like to do shout outs for today. So here we go. Number 1 is Dulci Hill. She is the founder of MS Frontiers. In fact, she sent me this wonderful t-shirt. It says MS Frontier Crusader, and that's certainly what I want to be. She certainly is a crusader. She has not only touched my life, she has touched the lives of multitude of other people. She works tirelessly for the cause of multiple sclerosis and supporting others that have it. So please check out her video and her page in the description box below. Next is Lindsey Becker. She is known on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram as Meant to Be Lindsey B. She shares her life with us in such a wonderful way. She inspires so many people, me, one of them. And she had a giveaway recently, and I love hockey. My husband loves hockey. And she had a giveaway for local, well, for Tennessee in our area, hockey team. And she had some items from there that a team member had given to her. And she wanted to pass along her blessing to someone else. And I actually won the giveaway. Yay! I was so excited. It meant a lot to my husband and I. Next is Christopher Simon. He has ALS, and ALS is also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. And he is such an inspiration. I just can't find the words to tell you how much of an inspiration he is to me. He reminds me of how to handle my life and to make the best of the life I have and consider the fact that I am alive as a huge blessing. And I do. Many times when I think I'm having a horrible day, I just think about Chris. And I go read something he sent me. And he makes use of every moment of his life. He writes books. He's an author. He works a crisis center daily. And to help others, even with all he's facing. And that is the definition of making life count. I'd like for all of you to get to know him too. And I've shared his link in the description box below as well. Then, next is Shenandoah Briscoe. He has a YouTube video, and he's also on Facebook, and he calls it The Shen Show. And he's a hoot. He's a lot of fun. He also is such an inspiration. I'd also like for you to visit his page and give him a like, and I hope you'll check them out. There'll be more shout outs in another video very soon. I also would like to do some adaptation videos. When a situation like this happens, there are enormous amount of adapting that must take place. To adapt your home, your kitchen, your bathroom, your bed, your everyday life must change and be made in a way that you can now function. And I'd like to share some of that to show others how I have adapted, the changes I have made, and the equipment and products that I have used to accomplish that. I do not have any sponsorship at this time. I do not get any kickback from any product that I may mention. In the future, if that were to change, I would make sure and address any sponsorship at the beginning of that video. But for now, we have none of that, so don't worry about it. I just wanted to make sure you knew that. So, it's time to close out our video for today. So stay tuned, but remember, my motto, it has been something I have said for many years. Always try, at least put the effort forth, to look at the good more than the bad and the happy more than the sad. It takes a conscious effort on our part to look past the pain and see the blessings. We all have so many wonderful things to look for and to recognize. So, I hope to see you back soon. I've got several videos in the editing phase and a couple that have some recording still to do. God bless. Have a great day.